Hey guys, we're back with another check out my cards tutorial. What I want to do today is kind of show you my approach on pricing cards on the platform. Listen, I have 1,400 cards right now. I need to price them. So I thought it'd be a good video for you guys to show. Also, like you can see, I have a ton of other cards that are coming soon, like 123 that were technically due about 2 weeks ago. But that being said, I have a ton that I need to price. So few things. First, if you want to price cards, you go into your inventory manager, and then instead of show all items, what you should do is look for without prices. Now, there's two different options. There's without prices, not flagged to ship, or without prices. We're just going to go without prices on this side of things. Sometimes I flag cards to ship, sometimes I don't. So we're going to go through that. And let's take a look at some cards. Okay, so some of these are going to be flips that I recently purchased, right? So I bought this Tony Gwynn today. Well, I actually bought a few of these on here. And you can see, like, I bought these at $8.33. I figured I'd make a little bit of money on these. So let's take a look really quick at the cards. I'm not going to do this every time, but just to show you a little bit. So there's one priced at $9.30. This card, it sells 40 times a quarter, 45 times, 60 times. So it's a very liquid card, right? So you don't always have to be the cheapest on that side of things unless you need the money back right away. Then you have this at $9.79, and you have a bunch here at $10. So I think $9.78 is a good price on this, right? So I'll put like $9.78, and that's what I was thinking when I purchased these cards initially, right? I know they'll move really fast, and we have those. Okay, here's another one. Miles Garrett. I know these are easy $1.34s. I bought a bunch of these over here. There's a big gap between my purchase price and then what these were going for. So you can see I bought all these about $1. They jump up to $1.34, so that's good. Now, this is an interesting one, right? So Mark Pryor, this is a one of one I saw listed. Now, this is a very, very junky card. Like, you can see the corners are really, really trashed, but it is a one of one. Mark Pryor does sell. So maybe this is one that we want to do a little bit more research on. And, there's historical sales, there's different things like that. But let's start off and search over here. I'm going to search eBay right now, see if any other Mark Pryor one-of-ones have sold before. Not sold before, but recently. And yeah, let's take a look. So these are labeled as one-of-ones, but they're both over here. I don't know if I buy that. This is like $200. I don't think this is a $200 card, especially in the shape it's in, right? So you can see this one-of-one Mark Pryor sold for $100. I do want to say I had a Mark Pryor one-of-one that sold before. If I go to my seller history, I might be thinking of a different player, but let me go really quick in my inventory manager. Or not inventory manager, sorry, my dashboard. I want to say I sold a one-of-one for like 50 or 60 bucks before. I wonder if that's the same one. That'd be kind of funny, right? Okay, sales price. I want to say it's like a $50 card. It might be on this page. Let me just see. Prior. Not on this page. Let's see if it's on this next page. Maybe it was like 40 bucks. If it's not on the next page, it wasn't Prior. But for some reason, I think it was Prior. Oh, that was the card I was thinking of right here. So I sold this Adam LaRoche. I'm like, why does that design look so familiar? That was the one-of-one I sold. So I sold that one for 40 bucks. So, okay, going in over here, right? So again, this sold for 100 bucks. This is an auto, dual jersey, better shape, right? This is a printing plate, right? This is an autograph. Mine's not an autograph. It's hard to say with one-of-ones because people will pay up on this side of things. So maybe I want to price this at like, I don't know. I feel like it's anywhere from like a $50 to $75 card. Right? And because the autograph over there, dual relic, this doesn't have a patch, right? And we'll go back over here and double check. There's no patch. You can see just plain jersey. Although this probably is a patch on here. It's in bad shape. At the end of the day, you should be happy if you get a nice flip on here. There's this one that's a bat that's at $99 in better shape. There's some crazy pricing over here. These tools of the trade are really cool. Bad photo by the seller, but those are really nice. You know what? I'm gonna put this at like 70 bucks, right? I paid what 30 for it. Like, it might sit for a bit at 70 bucks. So let me put it at 65. Again, if I sell it for 50, I'm gonna be happy, right? Okay, here's the next one. So you have these rookie SP variations of Vladdy Jr. The reason I bought these, I sold these at $2. The next was at $2.49. So you don't incur a fee. And you can actually see these jump right up to $3.50. Are they even going for that much now? So what I'm gonna do is just search this for 2 seconds. 29 Bowman Platinum. We're gonna go Vladdy Jr. Right. Again, like sometimes you got to be impulsive. You're not going to search every single one of these. It doesn't make sense to you. As you can see, like there's technically this buy it now at 150, like 199. So I just think there is like a big gap for some reason. Going over to sold, right? $1.49, $1.50. I don't know why that sold for $4. $1, $3. That sold for $6. 99 cents. 10 sold for $9. That's crazy. So, I could go in there and buy it, bring it up to 350. I don't think these sell at 350. I'm just going to price these at 249 each. I'll make my, 49 cents, whatever, technically a little bit less on these cards. That's fine. Okay. Here's another one. Clemente reprint. Like these always sell $1 to $2. Carlos Beltran, right? Taking a look at this. This is something else to be a little bit careful for sometimes. You can see $2.89, $3. I'm good with $2.99 a piece on these. I paid $1.75 or whatever, $2.99. Like they'll sell. You saw that there's a decent sales history on there. These mantles, again, something that'll sell. I'll just price this at $2.74. All right, a lot of bonds, and this is one to take a look at. So this is a $2.23, which is kind of close to the $2.49 side of it. And I bought a lot of these today. So let's take a look. So again, super liquid card. You can see over 200 sales, 139, like it's going to sell. There's a bunch at 240, right? And actually this guy buys up a ton, right? So what I would want to do is put this at like 238 or something like that. So I'm a little bit ahead of them. And then, we're going to just populate all those over here. Again, I'm not going to incur a fee on these. I paid $1.75, $2 on these. That's fine. They'll move. Not a ton of margin, but it's a super, super liquid card. All right. These Cal Ripkens, I actually have a lot of these already. I bought them cheap and, it's fine. And you can see for some reason, there's some other cheaper ones. Like I'll probably just buy these. It's fine. Like they are a cool card. And actually I'm going to load up this guy's profile and see if there's anything in there. But you can see like, it's okay. Maybe 3 or 4 a quarter. So I will just sell them at $2.49 each. So go over here, view cart, purchase these. And if they sit, they sit, right? But I feel like I could double my money on these. So $2.49 each on these. All right. So we'll go back over there. I'm actually really curious what this guy has. I might actually pause the video. But I'm just going to label all these Ripkens at $2.49. Okay. Another one. Nolan Ryan, 1987. Easy. We'll just go the cheapest ones. I paid half price. So 0.56. Right. Just spam them. These can be a little bit more interesting once you go over $10. I know this is like a $12 card. That's fine. All right. Another one. Joe Flacco. I paid $1.40. Number to 49. $2.49. Done. Although I think this would do better at a card show. Like I think this type of card you put at a card show for like a $5 bin, someone might buy it. But on COMC, maybe not. Okay. Another card. This was actually added to the website. And you can see it's just a Shaq rookie. Probably bought it in a dollar bin or so. So the cheapest on here is like $6.50. And we'll look at this here in a second. There's one at $6. It's not really worth buying because it's less than 10% profit. I'm good with putting it at like, there's this one at 6.65, 6.7. Again, 120 sales, a quarter. That's a lot. So, I'll price this at 6.6. Nothing in the world, right? All right, Lee Smith. I paid $1 each for these at the National. Right, a guy had a ton. I bought like 30 of these, and I knew going in, I'm like, these are going to be 249ers. And just double checking, right? You can see mine are right here. They technically scale really fast to 272, and these sell quite a bit. So maybe I'm underpricing myself a little bit on this at 249, But at the end of the day, it's fine. I paid $1 each, right? And insertion fee as well. And I probably paid a little bit. No, I did not pay less because the guy was stuck at $1 each. Again, not complaining. And check this out. I have a lot of Lee Smiths on here. Oh my God. I wonder if they just added them all. I think they did. Some of these might be in better shape than others, but yeah, so there's a lot of these across the board. How many do I have now? That's a lot. All right. Okay, so we're going to look at our next few on this side of things. And after these on here, maybe we'll take a break and we'll go on this side, see what this guy has really quick, and then jump back into more sales just to give it a little bit of a break. So in over here, we have this Derek Lee. I paid $9 for it. You know, when I bought this card, I thought this was like a $14, $15 card, but I do want to double check. So I'm going to just search Archives Derek Lee Auto. So Archives Derek Lee Auto. And I just find these sell pretty well. So this is $25, $25. So that's the one of one. That seems cheap for $18. This one sold for $20. Yeah, someone got a steal. Bad picture. And I think my card's what? Oh no, it's a different one. This number to 24, you know, I think this is like an $18 card all day. So we're gonna put $18 on that. Ozzie Guillen. So let's see this one. I paid 17. I want to say this was like a $30 card. So we're gonna go Archives again. Ozzie Guillen. That one sold for 20. Right, that sold for $29. Best offer. Going in over here, $25. Right, 17. I paid a little strong on it, but it's fine. Rick Honeycutt. No idea who this is. Another one of them that I bought because people buy these cards. All right, Rick Honeycutt. Oh, that looks like it sold for $20, $20. We'll put this at, like, again, I paid $11, 19 is fine for me. Mo Vaughn, a bit of a more popular player, I would assume. I don't know how much he signs though in comparison to some of these others. So this Mo Vaughn sold for $30. That one sold for like $40. So this sold for 15. They're all over the place. That sold for 35, 30, 50, but that's a one of one. What is this one, number 2? 44. Is it a cool card? That's kind of a cool card. But let's see. It sold for $30. You know, again, don't be too greedy. Sometimes you want to move inventory. I probably could increase the price on this. This is, what year is that? 2020. We'll put it at $30. All right, so there's that. We'll cover vintage here in a second because vintage has its own play. You don't always want to mark these one at a time, although I don't agree with 100% the poor fair assessment. This one probably is, but they're all over the place. That's fine. This was an interesting one, and I actually want to show you guys this too. So I bought this Fernando autograph from, what is this, 1982? Yeah, 1982. I paid $89 on this copy, but here's the deal. This isn't upgraded to Elite, so if I want to price this over $100, I'm gonna have to pay $2. So watch what happens. So I go over here, $149. So I have to pay an extra $2. No, I'd rather put this at $149 than $99. So you're gonna have those sometimes with cards that are under $100. You're gonna have to pay to make this an Elite, pay $2. Just unfortunate because like this already has, I want to say, an Elite scan, but it's just a platform rule. All right, this is another vintage card. We'll probably cover vintage here in a second. I have no idea who this is. I saw it was selling, and I bought a lot of cards from someone. Apparently I priced it too low, so sometimes you'll get that error. So sometimes you want to just double check. You can see like there's an 80-cent one, 74-cent. I'm just going to do a quick check really fast for you guys in this video. So 16 Julian Alvarez. I don't think I'm low on this. It's, what year is this? 2022. You can see like $1. Maybe I'll put 2022. Like this is a 10. It sold for $10, right? Like I don't think I'm underpricing it. So that's fine. We'll keep going there. All right, Harry Kane. Again, I don't know a lot of soccer, but I know Harry Kane's a bigger name. Mike Evans, 99 cents, probably like 98 cents. Tracy McGrady, like 0.9. That's fine. A Mojo of Robin Yount, 57 cents. So I kind of hope you guys like understand, like a lot of this is kind of just guessing sometimes, or just like underpricing if you know you have the margins on these. And like I bought all these knowing like there's okay margins on these, so you can see what I pay, right? Again, it doesn't make sense to always, you know, make 20 cents a card, but if I'm already going through someone's port or I just see it, like why not? It's fine. So another one, 39 cents, right? Okay, cool. This one over here, a little bit better, right? 6.35 probably. These do pretty well. Manning, 11.4, cool. Barry Sanders, Chrome, 2.4. 2.4, done, right? 0.68. 0.68, right? 0.25. Make a solid 7 cents there. 0.49. We'll do this for a few of them, because I think I bought a few of these over here. Cool. 2.9 on this one. And then 1.75. 2.4. Well, let me just double check, because these were ones I added to the platform. Oh, this was probably a dollar card that I got at the National. Never mind. I acquired it for $1.68. I know I bought some Jordans that look like that at the National. And I know some of my National stuff has been populating on here. All right, so 0.72 also on that one. 1.99. Always the $2 stuff. I always have a curiosity. Like, is there a lot at $2? There's not, so fine. $1.99. 3.15. That's fine. 3.15 over there. Another one of Jordan. Another Griffey. You guys can kind of see what I buy, right? Go over here, 0.63, 0.63, same card. And now we'll finish off this page and we'll look really quick at that guy's stuff. And I'll see if there's anything that's worth buying and just repricing, because there's also opportunities to do that. So, and then my inventory will go down. I'm not going to be at 1,400, maybe I'll be at 1,300 or so. Again, pricing across the board going to change depending on vintage or not, and you'll take a look. The site's a little slow right now, which is unfortunate. So we have that going over here. Let's take a look while this is updating. So this is like 50% off or whatever. First, like Federer stuff does pretty well. So does Nadal. So we're going to load those up over there. This Refractor Trout is kind of interesting. Missing foil. Acuna Gold, kind of interesting. Jovic, kind of interesting too. I probably butchered his name, so don't roast me on that. Kobe, that seems expensive, but we'll load it up just in case. Someone has it for $4, so it's definitely not worth it. All right, Federer, you can see like these are $1.80 each, so I'll just reprice these here in a second. We're gonna add it to my cart. I don't know if that's worth it or not. This is probably not worth it. Acuna, gold 200 Acuna. Let's look this up really fast for you guys. You guys are seeing real-time flips on here, right? Okay, that's gold for $1.70, $1.99, like $5, but that's a gold foil. Like, there's some opportunity there, but not at that price. This is interesting. There's 8 of these over here, so let's just see this really fast. It's an expensive card, 2008, so it's actually worth me looking this up. Like, I probably wouldn't have looked up that Acuna, but just for the video. Are these no, there's no parallel on this one. It's not the purple. Not worth it. You can see these are like 4 for $10. This one we'll look up, and I probably would look this one up just for like 2 seconds, you know, 720 if I go into 999. Again, I don't think this is worth it, but we'll double check. So you can see a 9 sold for $9. These are selling for like $5 for all. So that one sold for $12. That sold for $12. So maybe, but then there's like a $3 one, right? And there's a $10 one. You know, it does move decent. Like there's 10 sales on this side of things. So it's interesting. I probably wouldn't take that chance on that car. Someone would, but that's probably not for me. That's not my tolerance. So going through over here, some other stuff, right? That's too high. These don't sell that well. You know, these do well, but it's not a $20 card, I don't think, for Randy Moss. We'll just load it up just in case. Here's another one from 2008. Probably not worth it. If it wasn't Al Kaline, maybe. No disrespect to Al Kaline, great player. Just people don't really collect him as much as they should. What else is over here that's kind of interesting? Minted Springfield, just people don't know about these. They're, this has 27 pages, right? And you can see, maybe this is worth it. Like there you have $44 on the other stuff. Again, I don't think it's going to be, but let's just double check. Even if it's like a $30 card, you can see it's not. 15 bucks, 17, like it's not worth it, right? So maybe we'll go one more page for you guys and we'll go back into pricing stuff. And I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a change here in the video. Now these right here, one seller sold a lot of these over here. Bigger tennis name. Well, there is some sales. Those are mine right over there. They haven't sold yet. So I'm going to pass on that for now. Just look anything else. I want to say I bought from the seller before. I probably have, but I just thought it'd be fun. Stafford, but that's a score. Probably not worth it. These archives sometimes don't sell for some reason. So yeah, we're just going to buy these 3. Now, if you buy an individual card, you can just reprice it then and there. I wish there was an option to do that on here too. Like I bought 3 of the same card. Can I just reprice them all at once? If anyone from COMC product is watching, but I'll just list these at $288 each. All right. So what I want to do now is talk about vintage. So we're going to go without prices and we're going to talk about vintage side of it, or like stuff that doesn't sell that often. So the first one, I have a few 1955 All-Americans. Now, I be honest with you guys, I can't remember what I paid for these. They were at the National. It's probably in my National vlog, but we're going to go over here and just say 1955 Sammy Baugh. We're going to do a little research on here. So you can see like a 3 sold for $50, give or take. 590. This sold for $50 as well. That sold for $50. So I think this is probably like something I'd price at $50 or so. That sold for 60. And people will pay up a little bit. You can see that sold for $60, right? 67, $27. That sold for $58. Again, this isn't the nicest shape. Where are we at? Not the nicest shape. There's some creases in here. So maybe I'm a little high at that. But people do sell a lot of their stuff and they try to get into it. So one other thing I want to check is the other condition. Like you can see like there's a raw one at $46. And guess what? That's mine, which is funny. That's a terrible scan. Maybe that's why people are scared of it. But I will price mine at $50. How long have I even had that? I bought that then. All right, $50. We're gonna increase that price. I don't know. Either way, we're gonna put this at 50 as well. That's fine. All right, next we have an autogram. So we're gonna search autogram on here. So 1955 autogram. Cool. So autogram side of things, this sold for $60. That sold for $45. Does that have a hole in that card? Or is that just ink? Legitimately, like an ink, or I don't know what that is on that card. How did that sell for $45? That's crazy. Give me this 1.5 over that. Cool. So looking at this card, I think I could get probably about $60 on it, $65 maybe. Again, let's look and see. Maybe I have another one of these. You can see there's like nothing on the platform on the side of things. So maybe I'll just put it at 65. Someone buys it, someone buys it. All right, 1953 autogram now. So we're going to go over here and go to 1953. And that's kind of the nice part about also having the Monopoly on there. So that sold for $63. That sold for $26. That sold for $60. Oh, I think I'm going to probably price mine at like $60 or so. Maybe less. Like this isn't as good. You can see there's like huge creases on here. Rounded corners, cut off, like some staining. I still think this has a good shot at selling at like 50 bucks or so. Like, because that sold for 35 bucks. Mine's nicer than that. Again, people have funds that they want to spend. So I'm going to price this at 55. Let's see if anyone else had it on the platform. I don't think so. There's a 4 at 125. So I'll price mine 55 and we'll go from there. All right. Let's see if there's any other interesting things on here. I think these are all just like modern commodity cards. And you've already watched me price those. So, there's really nothing on that side of things that you would learn new about, maybe. I don't know. Maybe there is. Oh, this one is an interesting one. So there's a lot of these at $3. I bought them at $240. So we're going to do that $2.99. I also want to say, like, I saw someone put a star. No, that doesn't work. You could just copy prices. That did not work. I thought I was going to, but you can see I give you a lot in a row. Just be careful when you're spamming. But I want to say I bought like 15 of these at $244 a piece. You have two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time on one card. I figured those would do pretty well on that side of things. So that's kind of why I bought those, right? I'll do $1.72 on that. We'll do like $3.98. That's fine. 3.35. Someone was selling a bunch of Brady stuff cheap. His stuff sells pretty well on the platform. So I will take advantage of that when I see it. So that's why you have all of these Brady's over here. I do not click Brady. All right. So we have all of that over here. And what I want to do is now, like, maybe we go to the oldest cards on here. And maybe we try to figure out some pricing on some of these. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I generally have not priced a lot of these over here, and I think it would be kind of interesting. So this one, they changed the condition on it. I priced it at 60 bucks initially. That's fine. 55 bucks. Same with this one. Like, these always should have been Port Affairs. I feel like N15 commons, which these are commons. Winfield Scott should be a bigger name, but he's not. 55 bucks is fine. All right, so there's those. Now, here's the interesting stuff is, like, birds and animals and different things like that too. So maybe we start over here. I'll link into natives and costumes. Let's see if any have sold on eBay. What these look like, right? Because, like, there's not going to be a lot of these on COMC, on the non-sports. So you can see, like, this one has like creases and everything like that. 20 bucks. A bunch of 15 sold for 400 best offer. 20 bucks, 20 bucks. So I think this is pretty fair. The price of this one at like 25. This isn't as nice, I understand, but it's a starting point, right? And I can always lower it down. This one has paper loss here on the back. So maybe I want to price this at like $21. England is a bigger country, so I do expect this to sell a little bit higher. So let's see. That was Morocco. That was Russia that sold for that. France sold for that one. I would probably price England at 30 bucks. And maybe I'm off. I'm just shooting from the hip here. Portugal, there's some writing here on the back, everything like that. We'll put it at 22 bucks. Turkey. We have that over here. I don't know. 20 bucks. Venezuela. Have a rip here in the center, but we still have, the full back. We'll put like 23 bucks. Cornwallis. Look, someone even put 50 on the back. We'll put 50 just to match that. Again, these are expensive cards. Okay. So now we're going to put like an Allen Ginter N8 fish. And let's see, like, someone has $15 on the back on that one. Allen Ginter N8 fish. It's probably about $15 card, right? And it's interesting because some of these, like, really nice ones, they sell amazing. Some of these other ones, 20 bucks, 25 bucks. So, I think 15 is a pretty fair price on this one. And we'll price it there. So 15 bucks on that side. All right, hopefully my internet's back. We're going to look at a few others on here, right? So what we have on this side is N5 birds. So we're just going to go to eBay and say N5 Ginter birds, and we'll see. All right, so we'll go to sold items on this side of things, and we'll just walk through these. So these are birds of the tropics. Some of these are a little bit more expensive than others, like that $81. That's crazy. Again, a lot of condition on this side of things, like where it goes for. You can see like that 3 sold for 85. Wow. I need to see if any of these are grade worthy. I don't think these are grade worthy. So this is the first one. You know, maybe this one could squeak out a 2.5. So this one, maybe I'll price a little bit higher. We'll put like, I don't know, $35. I've had this on here forever. This is a pretty bad one. We'll put like $20 on that. Am I pricing some things under or over? Probably, but I'm just shooting from the hip for you guys. And I've had these too long on here. So, 35. Cool. Cockatoo. Dealer stamp on there. Can I recognize the name? I don't. 35. Or no, not 35. We'll put 30 on there. That's pretty bad. How's a dealer stamp though? Also, like 28. All right, and now I think we're going to a different one. Now we're at N7. So let's see what these go for on here. N7 Allen Ginter. I have, like I said, I have tons of 1800 stuff on here. I just never priced it. These are going to be fun to price. Like these are much rarer than the Ginter flags, and there's like no comps on that stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of my plan on a lot of these. You know, this Bill Terry, I want to say this is like a $75 card. I was gonna get it graded, but it's fine. Like I paid $20 for it. Some of these others, like this is not going to be for sale. I actually should get this graded. This is going into my collection. That's a Sydney Ogden. So I'll get that graded. Man, I have ADHD. I was going to go and price these out. And I actually went to the next page. Let me go back over. But you guys can see, like, I have tons and tons of stuff that I need to price. And I just haven't had the chance to, right? And I definitely need to do that. So we're going to go back over here. And where's that N7 at? So we have a few of these. So, you know, what these backs look like. That one sold for like $6. Some of these nicer ones sold for like $20. I don't know. We'll price it at like $25. Like this looks like a pretty nice back, pretty nice front. This is probably like a $15 card. Although it probably should be a pour. N24, it looks like I have a good amount of those on here. So we're going to go to N24 Allen Ginter. We'll price those out as well. You can see like Paper Loss sold for $15, $15, 15. So, you know, maybe these are like $15 cards. If they're nicer, they're nicer. But we'll start there. So let's take a look. So like that's pretty bad shape. We'll probably put that like $13. China, people pay up for China for obvious reasons. So we're going to put that at like $25. Germany, there is a decent amount of German collectors out there. We'll put that at like $20. Another Germany over here. Is this a nicer one? Yeah, we'll price that up to $25. All right, Madagascar, $20. Although someone might buy it just for the film. We have the Sweden over here. There's some Swedish collectors, but not a ton. $20. All right. Now let's take a look at some of these others over here. What's gonna be another group? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Some of these I might be grading too, so I don't necessarily want to do all that. These are kind of interesting, some of the Ogdens as well. I have so many Ogdens. We'll go to like a random page like 6. See if there's some other good stuff over here. Oh, these are all like 1930s German cards that I've added in. That won't have a lot of sales on eBay. I bought a lot once of like 300 of those, I want to say. You can see like we have Sir Malcolm Campbell over here. I bought these more than 74 cents over there. I really thought they would move, but they don't. And I should probably just price them. Pavo Nurmi's another one I thought would move a lot better on the platform. And you can see, I mean, it's not terrible. 7 sales. Not terrible, 7 sales, but and maybe I'll buy these and reprice them over here. $249 each. Gonna do it. But yeah, I mean, this was it. I don't know if you guys like this video or not. I wanted to change it up a little bit and kind of show you a little bit behind the scenes and kind of things like that for it, right? How to price, because I know a lot of people add stuff to the platform. I don't know how many pricing videos there is on that side, but that's kind of my strategy. You know, am I the best on COMC? No. Have I sold a decent amount? I guess, right? And we're halfway through September, and just go to seller stats, sales by month, right? I'm not going to do as well as August. Like August sold 8,000. We're at 27. So like still on track for a pretty good month, probably about 5,400. Well, maybe more depending on all the stuff I'm going to be pricing out. But so probably the goal 6K or so. But trying to scale this up and document the journey.